I guess we can start, and if people pop in, they can pop in, but I wanted to say, Lizzie made me do this.
No, no.
Well, she is the class rep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she really twisted my arm, and
I think Chessa made you do it.
Jessa made me do it, and Lizzie made me do it. And my one requirement was I wanted to cook a meal that we ate at school, but no one could really remember anything from back in the day. So
Except meatloaf.
I have no memory of what I ate when I was at St. Andrews, except Pappy's Pizza and things outside of school. So
Yeah.
anyway, I put together a menu that I think is it's appropriate for, it's seasonal, it's good for warm weather, it's really easy, and it's kind of recipes that are like pretty basic and familiar, but just have a little bit of a twist. So that's the St. Andrews dinner, I guess, the virtual dinner.
Yay, Meg!
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 Dils, I like your shirt.
Yeah, I just got it today. I mean, I think,
nice.
Jessica, you really did a great job with that. I mean, I got it a couple hours ago.
Oh, we got the flag boxes.
It was great.
Chuck's
Okay. No, it was awesome. So I'm hoping everyone can see. I'm gonna make, hang on one sec. I'm gonna lower this.
Right, I'm putting a hat on. I'm putting my hair.
Dils, are you in your Brooklyn studio or are you at home?
No, I'm at home. There. Is this better? I want to be able to show. I'm just going to do this. So I'm making guacamole, and it's really easy. It's just, do you want to see it? I'm putting I have a really ripe avocado, and I'm just going to put it in the food processor. And this guacamole, it's Asian guacamole. And I love Asian flavors. So you basically get all the Asian flavors, and then the avocado just kind of makes it the guacamole. It's sort of like the base. So I have a really ripe avocado in here, and then I have 1 cup of edamame. And this is, I don't know if you're familiar with this. It's basically soybeans that have been shelled, and you buy them frozen and just microwave them, and it's really easy to do. It's done. So I have edamame and avocado. I'm gonna chop up some scallions, and I'm just gonna use like this part for in here, and then this part I'm gonna garnish.
Are we allowed to take notes, or is it copyright infringement?
Yes, it's my IP, Gurns. No. And ask, I would love to kind of, tell you a little bit about me and what I've been up to, these past 40 years.
40 years. Yes, we would like that.
Yeah, I've had like a whole lifetime times 3 since I was at school. Well, and from my personal life, I'm just going to keep going as I do this. I'm putting in some soy sauce and some sesame oil. If you get sesame oil, and you can get all of these ingredients like right in your supermarket, sesame oil is so amazing, and it's you want to get the toasted kind because that has a whole lot more flavor. So I have sesame oil, soy sauce. I'm going to put in a juice of a lemon because I read that wrong. It's a lime, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm using a juicer. And this lemon has a ton of juice, so I'm only going to use half. And then to spice it up, I'm putting in some chili flakes, and you can use Korean chili flakes, which I love. These are habanero chili flakes. I'm just gonna put a little of that in.
I don't know if I can get those in Bibb County, Georgia.
So this brand is great. It's Burlap and Barrel. They're single origin
Right
spices.
online.
And they're really like everyone in New York and Brooklyn loves this brand. And you can buy it on, I mean, it's only online. They don't really sell them in stores, but Burlap and Barrel, really special stuff.
All right, y'all, this is my friend Elizabeth, who's up here for the weekend.
What?
John, Dare. I'm just reintroducing my friend Elizabeth for Dare and John and Adam and Suki
I'm really
and Tessa.
sad to miss all of that fun. Okay, I'm turning this on, so hang on. Just gonna scrape this down. So anyway, well, hold on a second.
Oh, cool. All right, is that like a big Cuisinart?
Yeah, it's a food processor. And the only reason why, I mean, normally you wouldn't use this for guacamole, but the reason why I do is just to mash up the edamame a little bit, but you don't really have to if you don't want to. You can do it in a mortar and pestle or just mush it all together. So I'm gonna plate it now, and plating is like really important.
I feel like
Drink.
Okay. So I have my chips and a bowl. See, so I am a culinary producer and a food stylist. And a big part of my job is just making food look good, because there is a really big difference between not so great looking food and really nice looking food. And so here's the guacamole.
beautiful.
And what I'm gonna do is chop up the rest of these scallions. And
Amy,
I'm
I
just
thought
gonna,
you might put it in a green bowl.
what? Say
Thought
it
you
again?
might put it in a green bowl.
Oh.
Just kidding.
I wish I had a better way to show
I
this.
just got that, Chessa.
Yeah, I'm telling you, will you wash my bowls now? Okay. I have Jim Currie as my sous chef.
Where's Jim?
Hey, Jim,
Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
who is it?
I have
They
to,
can't see.
oh,
He's
hello.
washing my food processor.
I have to wash it.
All right, so this is like I'm styling with some black sesame seeds
Oh.
and some white sesame seeds.
I'm glad you're
And then
including
my
the black and the white.
I wish it's really, I mean, that's as good as I can show you, but that's it. It's
Beautiful.
And then here are the chips. So we're gonna eat that off to the
Okay,
side.
hold it up. I'm
Now you
gonna take a
don't make
picture.
your own chips, do you, Miss Dilsey?
What?
You don't make your own chips, do you?
I 100% do, Gurns. I always make corn chips, flour ones. It's so easy.
Are you being serious?
Amy, would you hold it up? I
Cheers,
wanna take
everyone. It's easy. You just heat up some oil and you put tortillas in it and it fries. So
Right on your big massive stove back there. Can we have a view of your stove back there?
yeah.
Swing it around,
I'm
girl.
it's actually, this is good because
We should get one of those.
I'm gonna cook the chicken on that.
Oh, and a pot filler.
Yeah, I'm gonna grill it. The recipe says to put it in the oven, but I'm gonna grill it for now because it's just another option, and I think it's kind of a nice option. Thank you.
She's got awesome.
Can you
chips.
hold it?
Or just keep it on. Yeah, just keep it on.
What?
Hold the glass.
Can I give you this?
Wait,
Okay,
wait, wait.
so
I need
that's the
glasses.
guacamole.
Hold on.
And then I just need to give you
Oh.
this.
All right. Wow.
Yeah. So while I'm getting
glasses.
ready for the next recipe, I'll tell you a little bit about let's catch up, and I'll start, but let's kind of go around and everyone can, kind of, let's say what we're up to. So I live in Summit, New Jersey, which is just outside of New York. And I work in New York. I have a culinary production company called Hot Dish Productions. And we shoot food, television, video, photography, social media stuff, like anything that has to do with culinary. And it's like a dream job for me. I absolutely
Amy,
love it.
are you there 5 days a week?
Well, I mean, when you have your own business, it's like 7 days a week.
Yeah.
It's like, it's pretty much 24/7. I mean, it's very hard to turn it off. And until we get a little bit more established and have a bigger staff.
You're leaving. Meg.
Where are they going?
Where are you going?
Oh,
Going to the beach?
we're going to Rehoboth.
Oh,
All right, we're still connected. Keep watching. All right,
all
Dills.
right. So I'm going to start with the chicken.
It'll be like
What?
Cooking in cars.
Okay, so, all right, so this chicken is really easy. I'm going to finish telling you about my, oh,
Keep
this is
going,
great. I
Jill.
love that.
We're in.
That's great.
We're all in.
All right, so this is a great dish because it's chicken that gets like a very light marinade, and then it also, the same ingredients plus basil goes into the dressing that gets poured all over the grilled chicken. The tomatoes get grilled a little bit, and then there's some mozzarella. So it's just a great summer dish. It's like room temperature. You can make it in advance. It's great for entertaining. Everybody loves it. It's nothing, no ingredients that are weird. So I'm going to start to work on that. I'm going to just get the like the marinade going for the chicken. So I have a culinary production company, and I do a ton of cooking and anything that has to do with culinary food styling. And my work is kind of all over the place. I've worked on a lot of Food Network TV shows. Girl Meets Farm is probably the most notable one. But I also worked on a couple of A&E network shows as well. And we are pitching a lot of shows. So that's my professional life. And then I have 3 kids, Jimmy, Katie, and Will. Jimmy and Katie are 26, and they both live in New York. And Will is 23. And fun fact, he went to Bates with Lizzie's son. And so Lizzie, did we see each other once or twice on Parents
Once
Weekend?
at a parents' weekend.
Yeah, it was
Maybe in 18.
Yeah.
No, I guess it would have been, what year? 18. I think fall of 18. And that was really fun.
It was great. It was really great. It was such a treat. Okay,
He's still in
so,
New York too?
huh?
Is he in New Jersey or New York?
Yeah, where's Will?
Oh yeah, he's in New York as well. Suki, you'll appreciate this. He's an analyst at CIT.
All
Oh,
right.
wow.
Yeah, so he's really, he's very, like he's got the math brain that I have no clue,
Nor do I.
Yeah, he's very good that way. So I'm making just a really simple marinade. I just squeezed the other half of the lemon that I used for the guacamole and put a little olive oil in here. And I'm gonna add some salt.
What kind of
And
salt do you use? Like kosher salt?
I use kosher salt. Hold on one sec. I'm just getting my chicken. I use kosher salt, and the brand is called Diamond Crystal, and that's what all the chefs use. So I'll show you the box, Lizzie. Want to see the box?
Yes,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Is it fine or is it thick? Or coarse? Is that the word?
Meg.
You can get this. This is the good salt.
Oh, wow.
So
Hey, a big box.
I love it. All right, so I'm going to turn this on and preheat this griddle. But in the meantime, I have chicken cutlets, and it's better if you can't find them thin, then pound them. And I have directions in the recipe. They're meant to cook really quickly. And I'm just going to put 4, kind of rub it around in this marinade. And this does 2 things. It's because it's olive oil and lemon juice. It keeps the chicken from sticking to the pan, as well as giving it some flavor. So I'm doing this, and I'm going to wash my hands in a sec. While I'm doing this, tell me who's going to let's kind of go around and tell me, everybody, like fill us all in on what you're doing. Chuck, you start.
I am a professor at Georgia Southern University, but I also am the managing director for a growing hospitality company in Madison, Georgia. So
Cool.
Wow. Wait, who's that, Chuck?
I want to hear about it. Hold on one sec. I have to wash my hands.
Yeah, because maybe Amy needs to come down and cook at your new hospitality, whatever.
well, it would be awesome to have her come down. We are opening up 4 restaurants this summer, and
Wow.
We should talk.
The first 2 in about a month. If you've ever been to Madison, it's the quintessential small, beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Rural Georgia.
Where is it? Where is it, Chuck? Like, is it near Atlanta or?
It's 1 hour east of Atlanta. It's 30 minutes south of Athens and 30 minutes north of Lake Oconee, which is.
It's an hour near me. I mean, it's a beautiful community.
So
Yeah.
is it?
Developed homes are there. It's gorgeous.
So I want to hear about your job as a professor, but I'm very interested in knowing what the restaurants are.
So
Tell me about the platforms.
We are located inside of historic buildings, because Madison is one of the towns that Sherman did not burn on his march to the sea. So many of the buildings there are from the 1800s, including stuff that we own that we are putting these properties in, or these projects in. So doing a coffee bar that is in an interesting, it's an old Sinclair gas station that we've retrofitted. And so we're calling it the Sinclair, but the coffee bar morphs into a craft bar at night. I'm doing a taco bar, I'm doing a British pub, and I'm doing a fine dining outlet. And I'm building a brewery at the same time. So the brewery is
amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Chuck, that's a lot with you teaching as well. How the heck are you handling
Yeah,
it?
I mean, Amy, I don't know if you knew this, but I was in the restaurant business for 40 years. So
I had absolutely no idea. I'd love to talk to you separately about and hear all about this. And you know.
Yeah, I kind of took it to the extreme in terms of education. So I'm finishing my PhD in hospitality as we speak from Iowa State University. So in addition to all that, that's what I'm doing. But that's where I am at the moment.
That's amazing. Congratulations. When is all of this opening? I'm like switching gears here, but I'm making the dressing for this dish, and I just juiced a lemon in the food processor, and I'm adding basil.
Okay.
And it's really just lemon, basil, salt, and I'll put in olive oil when the motor's running, and that will emulsify it, because with the motor on, it just blends it really quickly, because oil and lemon juice don't mix, right? So you need to kind of go. All right, so Chuck, when are these restaurants opening?
Mid-July is the first 2 are opening, and then September is the pub. We look like October for the fine dining. And we bought a motel, so we're doing a really cool renovation on it. It's a small roadside motel built in the 60s. It's really cute. It was
fabulous.
Really decayed. The previous owners had really screwed the pooch, so we're bringing it back to its original glory, and it'll be really fun to kind of just hang out in this little, it's so retro, it's cool again kind of thing.
So, Chuck, is it like a motor lodge where you
Yeah,
pull up
exactly.
to the door?
It was called the Old South Motor Inn, and now it's going to be
I
called
love
the
that.
New South Motor Inn.
Oh, cool.
That's
I'm
great.
visualizing Schitt's Creek type of.
Completely Schitt's Creek. It's just that style, but
That's fabulous. Do you
Yeah,
know Hugh Atchison by any chance?
I've met Hugh several times at different events in Atlanta, but I've never worked with him. I've met him at some of the Taste of Atlanta, Taste of the Nation kind of thing.
Yeah, because he's in Atlanta and Athens. I know him quite well. I was actually on a call with him yesterday.
Yeah.
We're gonna hopefully do a show for him.
Good.
Produce a show.
It's great.
He's great, but he's having a lot of trouble hiring right now because
Yeah.
Like everybody
you
else.
know the way the pay structure
Yeah.
was sort of structured with COVID. I think people that work in the back kitchen and anywhere in a restaurant can make more money sitting at home on the couch than
Oh, that's 100% true. Georgia just announced this week, and it goes effective June 26th, but they're cutting out the supplemental unemployment insurance compensation, so that benefit in Georgia will go away June 26th. But as far as that goes, Amy, we are implementing a compensation model that's based on this company out of Seattle. I don't know if you ever heard of this company called Fire and Vine.
Yeah.
And they have a really interesting compensation model that works.
What's the model?
I bet Hugh Atchison would like to know about that. He's really pulling his hair out.
Well, it goes to they dictate, or they communicate to the customer, you don't need to tip because there's a 20% surcharge. The 20% surcharge is then allocated to the staff, and the staff receives a higher hourly rate, and the front of the house staff gets what they call commission on sales, and then they use that commission as a line item on their P&L statements, which makes it beneficial from a tax perspective. So he's able to get his servers making really good money, $50 to $70 an hour. And then the back of the house, he's able to compensate them at about $5 to $10 per hour over the going market rate because of this commission. And it's really intriguing how he's done it. And he's got 13 restaurants. There's a guy named Chad McKay, but he's got 13 restaurants out on the West Coast that have 600 plus employees, and he's been doing it well.
Been successful with it. That's amazing. I will look him up. He's a restaurateur. He's not a chef, right?
Chad is the owner and restaurateur, not a chef, but
yeah,
he has a number of restaurants in his portfolio. And so
wow, that's very impressive. Yeah, we should definitely, I'd love to hear more about what you're doing. I forgot to add, with our business, our specialty is working with chefs. So most of the content that we do is with really kind of celebrity chefs and award-winning chefs. And
all right, Amy, we learned today that Scott Saprell's second child went to law school and is now a chef at a restaurant in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wow, in Birmingham.
No, in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, Wilmington, North Carolina.
On the coast. So I texted, because I've got some friends who live there, I texted Scott and said, I'd like to know the name of the restaurant his son's a chef at. So I'll share that with you.
I would love to know that. I have one of my chef friends has a restaurant in Wilmington, Vivian Howard. I don't know, do you know the name, Chuck? She's a Southern chef.
The restaurant that's been on a Netflix thing?
No, she wasn't on Netflix, but she's won a lot of awards. I shot a show, Love at First Bite, with her, so she was on that. But she has a show. Her restaurant is in Kinston, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has a pizza place in Wilmington, and she just opened a couple in
Charleston, 2 restaurants in Charleston. But it's really interesting because it sounds like the town that you're opening your restaurants in a little bit. It was a very, it was at the turn of the century, it was a thriving southern town because of cotton, right? So there were cotton, they made shirts and things like that with cotton, and her family has a cotton farm, and it just, fell apart. And her parents, she was in New York, and her parents basically bribed her and said, we will open a restaurant for you. We'll buy you a building and pay for everything if you come back. And she did, and she revitalized the town. It's now a destination for, because of her restaurant, The Chef and the Farmer. I'm just gonna go turn back and flip this, and then I wanna hear from the car, what everybody's doing. Hold on.
Car.
I love it.
All right, I flipped my chicken. Meg, you're up. Go off mute.
Meg.
Thanks.
Suki, take it away.
All right, Suki, what's going on in your world?
Oh, nothing as fun as your world. Been out here for 22 years. Was going to come out for a couple years out in California. Still in commercial banking, in the risk management side, which has been a really fun year, let me tell you. Monitoring a lot of, hotels, restaurants, hospitality, airlines. Anyway, risk management. I review all the loan portfolios and in security side, investment portfolios of the bank. So we used to travel a lot and get to Summit, New Jersey and get to see Dills, but obviously haven't traveled for a year and a half. Let's see what else. No kids.
But your husband's in hospitality, right?
Yeah, I wish he were available. Of course, he is at work, but
so where does he work now?
So he's been at Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen for since he left Capitol Grill. It's located in downtown Disney. It's huge, 2 floors, 2 kitchens, 200 some people. Not the fine dining like Capitol Grill was. But he likes it. It's a challenge. He has a big management team, like, I don't know, 17 or 15. And, they went through all the stages of closed, partial opening, outside, partial inside. And next week, I think they're going to like 80% or something. I don't know.
You know what's so funny? New York is 100%. Everything is open 100% and no masks, no nothing.
But with more spacing inside, right?
No, it's just nothing. It's like 100% open and no restrictions whatsoever anywhere.
Well, Governor Gavin Newsom wants to open up on June 15th. I think it's like 100% inside, but you still have to do that extra spacing. Anyway, like you said, and to echo what Chuck said, big time difficulty in hiring people. They have to hire back all the people they had obviously furloughed, but they're having trouble definitely in the back of the house, I think, is in particular, as you said, with all the unemployment stuff. But he's not a chef. He runs when I start to make dinner. Unfortunately, he's a front of the house general manager person. And a manager here, unfortunately. So he's not a foodie. Not a chef, but
that's okay.
He really should be here. He'd love this conversation.
I would love to see. I'd love to. Yeah, if he would. Oh, he's not there though. That's right.
You guys have to meet sometime. But Ralph Brennan, you've heard of. All his restaurants are in New Orleans. This is the only one outside of New Orleans. So, so it's good. He's busy and he loves it.
That's great. I can tell you, it is now that New York is back. It is impossible to get a reservation at a restaurant now. Impossible. It's amazing how life has just bounced back, and it's almost like it's strangely, we can't remember what it was like, you know, like I know it was bad, but it's not bad anymore. And I think you choose to live in the present, right? So I think it's very hopeful for everybody. I mean, whatever your profession or your field is, it's hopeful, but especially for the poor the restaurants just got really hit so badly. But there is going to be I predict a huge burst of creativity. I know a lot of restaurants opening right now, just like you, Chuck, and it's great. All right. Checking my chicken. It's looking good. I'm going to grill my tomatoes next. All right, Lizzie, you're up.
Oh gosh, things are good. I'm actually, we have a little place in Western North Carolina where we are right now. And my husband and Elizabeth's boyfriend are next door at a neighbor's house visiting. But I am still the office manager for Chris's law firm. And thankfully in January, I cut back to 3 days a week. And I'm really hoping I can go to 2 days or 1 day a week next year. I'm just exhausted from working 7 days a week for 11 years. But
you have a tough boss.
I've got a tough boss, yeah. But so that's good. And then my oldest son, John, he has just quit his job with a investment banking group in Atlanta, and he's going to be moving to Nashville September 1. And he's excited about being out of Atlanta. Atlanta is not a place you want to be living right now. It's the crime is horrible, the taxes are high, the traffic is horrible. It's not the town I grew up in, and that's very
That's a
sad.
shame.
I
haven't heard that, but that's a shame. I'm just gonna go grab a plate because I'm gonna pull my chicken off.
Okay, so they're in the restaurant. I'm loving that Meg is keeping us in tune with them going.
They're gonna have to stop what they're doing and talk in just a minute.
I know, because they're like meeting Carl Saliba, Scott.
I know
everybody.
Wait,
I know.
and
I'm glad they're on. It's great that they're making an effort when you didn't have to. What about your younger son, Lizzie?
Okay, yeah. So Robert graduated. I'll have to send you pictures, Dilsey. He graduated 2 weeks ago from Bates. He took a semester off, so he finished in December, but did the formal graduation 2 weeks ago. There's the group.
There's the chicken.
Look at
there they are.
Hilarious.
You all need to take a picture.
I love it.
They need to unmute.
Yeah, you need to unmute, Meg. Unmute.
All right, hold on. I'm making this dressing, so I'm turning on the food processor. Hold on.
Look at me in my.
I'm impressed by your multitasking, Dills.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with Jess's pot rack in the background.
All right, so I made this dressing.
All right, so what was
really
in
nice, and it's just going to go on top of everything. So I'm going to put it aside because I'm charring the tomatoes a little bit. I don't know if you can see it; they're smoking, and I love these tomatoes. Here's another little tip: they're called Campari, and they're nice. I like because they're on the vine, and so they're easy to. If you want to grill something, if you want to grill tomatoes, these are so easy. You just put them right on the grill and they don't fall apart. So that's what I'm doing. All right, Lizzie, anything else?
No, nothing else. I'll tell you what, we need to get this group. We could have the Scott Saprell golf group come to Western North Carolina. We could have Chuck and Amy and the crowd come up to Western North Carolina to do their cooking stuff. Suki, you need to come. Chessa, of course, you're always welcome. and mix it up. There's
We'll
golf,
stay at-
there's food.
We'll
There's
stay at
drinking.
Chuck's Motel.
Somebody's got to organize it, Lizzie, and then we'll all come.
There you go.
You just say when and where, and we will flock to you.
That would be great. All right, unmute Scott and
All right,
Sid.
we have a lot of people to get through down here. So Scott, you turn your mute off and tell us about what you're doing.
They're having
Unmute.
dinner in Rehoboth.
What restaurant are you in? Unmute.
I think he's
He frozen?
he might be frozen.
Okay, I'll ask a question in the meantime. Dills, I am very lucky to still have and use your cookbook. And I wonder,
Gosh.
That's ancient. That's so ancient.
well, now it's more valuable because I have your autograph in there. And now that you're a celebrity, so I wonder, do you have any more cookbooks?
No, I don't do that anymore.
So I can see that.
Okay, Ned.
It's too.
Onions for about 2 minutes until they're translucent.
Wait, what?
Oh, she wants it again. She wants it again.
All
I
right.
love garlic and every dish. I don't think you can go wrong with that.
Put garlic. I think.
What do you think about that?
Well, I couldn't really hear you, but I think you said that you like garlic and you put it in every dish.
Yes, but I can barely hear you because we're in the Dogfish Head Brewery pub and it is very loud.
That's no fair.
Okay,
You're
thank
having
you
more
for
fun
doing
than
this.
we are.
They're having a great time, Dilsey. They're missing out.
All right. Can we get, can you all right, if you, Dej, tell us what you're up to. You're selling real estate. Your daughter is like drinking and partying now. What else?
At the age of 14.
Oh, she's 14.
We're off. Bye.
Bye.
Over and out. I think I tried to leave this morning.
Make sure you guys take
leaving.
a picture at Dogfish.
They're leaving?
Hey, we can't hear them. It's fine.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah. So anyway, well, I'm just gonna finish this dish and then I'm gonna start on the Rice Krispie treats because they're more interesting than they sound. So I've got my chicken.
Right, I'm gonna put something in the oven.
And I charred my I charred my tomatoes just a little bit.
How long do you char those for?
I mean, I think and there's really no time. It's until they look charred.
Okay.
And these, I would have done them a little bit longer, but,
Gotcha.
but you want them to,
Did you put anything?
what?
Did you put any oil or anything? No, you just put them on the grill.
No, you know what? The marinade from the chicken, the oil and the lemon kept the grill, kind of, it had a layer of oil on it from that, which is kind of nice. It's double duty and it also gives it a little bit of flavor, which is nice. So I have tomatoes and chicken, and then I have some really nice mozzarella. And I love like, this is real buffalo mozzarella. It's just incredible. So I pull it and I just arrange it. And then I have this really pretty green dressing that I'm gonna pour all over. And that is the dish. So if you can see that, this is
hold
the
it up.
dish without spilling everything. And the nice thing is it's literally, you could serve this anytime, brunch, lunch, dinner, room temperature, warm, cold. So I'm gonna put this aside and we're gonna eat this for dinner. And then I'm gonna make the Rice Krispie treats. So the difference, here's the thing with Rice Krispie treats. I actually really love them. I think they're light and they have all the textures that you want, and there's a lot you can do with them. It's kind of amazing. So what I do is I brown butter, and it's really easy to brown butter. I actually already browned this butter, but it's really just, so butter has water in it, and browning the butter is literally just cooking it until the water evaporates. And then the solids have nothing to do but sort of cook, so they brown. And that's all it is. And so you sort of just watch the butter bubble, and the bubbles start off really big because there's a lot of water in the butter, and then they get smaller and smaller. And when the bubbles sort of start to stop, then the butter turns brown. And it's just like toast, or cooking something. It just brings out a different kind of a flavor. And I use brown butter for so much in my baking. I love to make brown butter oatmeal cookies and chocolate chip cookies. I mean, it really works well in almost any kind of a baked good. But the only thing you have to be aware of when you're cooking with brown butter is that when you lose the water, it's not the same amount. So one stick of butter that is brown butter probably loses about a tablespoon of the volume of it. So if you're gonna say, if you're making chocolate chip cookies and it has a stick of butter and you want to make it with brown butter, you have to replace a little bit of butter to make up for the water that you're losing. And when I'm doing that, I usually add heavy cream, because it just adds a little bit more of a different, it goes in a different direction flavor wise for cookies. But for this, it's just brown butter, and I'll show you. This is what it looks like, if you can see that. It's like nutty and brown, and it's just really beautiful. So I have my brown butter, and I'm just gonna add the marshmallows. And it's literally a bag of marshmallows. I have made homemade marshmallows before. I don't think it's necessary for something like this. So there they go. And it's really just, the marshmallows melt, and then the Rice Krispies go in, and you mix it all together. And I'm gonna put it right back in this pan. And those are the brown butter Rice Krispie treats. And I think I'm gonna drizzle chocolate on top of these. And how can you not love that? Oh, and then I add a little bit of salt. So I'll keep doing that. I actually lost a marshmallow in here. I have to figure out how to get it. All right.
So Dills, is this all going to be delivered to our house in like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
FedEx or something?
Yeah. Absolutely, Gerns.
Wonderful.
I mean, you did have the ingredient list. You could have made it. No, but we're going to have this for dinner. And I'm always here if you have questions, but what we typically do at Hot Dish is we will film a chef cooking a meal just like this. Or, we do a lot of instructional cooking videos, and we do a lot of explainer videos that sort of tell that, like Monday I have a shoot at a woman, an Australian woman opened a bakery, and she makes something called an Aussie slice. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that, but it is iconic in Australia. It's amazing to me. It's iconic in Australia as like the chocolate chip cookie is here. But nobody knows about it here. So she opened a bakery, and she has 14 different Aussie slices. And our job is to go in and shoot sort of a video where she will interview her and sort of talk about, her business and what an Aussie slice is, and make it look like, you know, really good. Like we're gonna make food porn, basically. So that'll be fun. It's my favorite kind of work because it's not always that great. We're working with a pharmaceutical company that makes a Parkinson's drug. And a very famous chef, her name is Zarela Martinez. She sort of brought regional Mexican cuisine to New York and then the whole country in the 80s and 90s. She has Parkinson's. And the company wanted to do a series of commercials sort of talking about their drug through the eyes of Zarela and how she manages her PD through cooking and taking this drug. So that's not so much fun.
Wow.
Because she's not well and it's really hard. It's really hard to see that, you know, it's hard to tell her story. You know, she's got dyskinesis and she really struggles. And so that's a different kind of storytelling. You know, it's not so much about the food, but it's about just, you know, finding a way to embrace her living her life, you know, and cooking and shortcuts, things that she can do to still cook, but not, you know, she can't cook, she can't use a knife because she shakes too much. So, so that was our challenge with that one. So it's like, we really run the gamut. I wish you could be here and smell this. It's really good. The brown butter and the marshmallows. So it's like all bubbling and, you know, and then I'm gonna just add the Rice Krispies and the salt and just push it into a pan and it's done. And it like lasts forever. I remember when my kids were young, I think my daughter was in 4th grade and I sent her with a Rice Krispie treat for her snack. And the teacher was like, that's not healthy. You can't, like, don't send her with that anymore. And I hate when a teacher, like, I was like, no, you know, she's like, you can bring a granola bar, you know, like in a package, but you can't bring a send her with a homemade Rice Krispie treat. So I did a nutritional analysis and I proved that a Rice Krispie treat was less sugar and less this and that than a store-bought granola bar. And I like very proudly presented it to the teacher and the teacher was like, I don't care.
Oh.
She was basically like, I'm the teacher and I'd no to Rice Krispie treats. But they're really not that bad for you.
Not all that good for you either, just to be clear.
I mean, they're not good for you, but you know what dessert, you know, it's like in the scheme of things, it's not horrible.
You don't eat the whole pan.
Do you grease the pan that you put them into?
You know what? That's a really good question. Yes, I should. I'm a really lazy baker and I don't measure. I do everything I can not to have to work too hard. And I buy this, I love this brand, USA Pan, because it's nonstick. So no.
Is that an 8x8?
I'm not putting anything in this and it's fine.
What's that size?
What?
Is it a 9x9, an 8x8? What is that?
Yeah, it's a 9x9. And
Okay.
I'm putting my Rice Krispies in. And I'm gonna actually I'm gonna put this over here so I can stir and talk. You can really use any pan you want. I think the original recipe, like on the Rice Krispie box, is a 9x11 or 12. But I like my Rice Krispies really thick, like really high. And something that I always talk about is, you know, you want to use your home cook intuition. And if, you know, like, I always feel like recipes shouldn't control you. You're the cook, you know? And if you want a thicker Rice Krispie treat, then use a smaller pan, right?
I
So
like your attitude.
that's what I do. I don't let these recipes control me. Like usually, really, swap ingredients, change it up. What's the worst thing that's going to happen, right? Nothing. I have cooked meals for my family. Like I remember making a rice dish once and I overcooked the rice and it still tasted okay, but the rice fell apart. It was like a porridge almost. And I gave it to them and I was like, this is the new way to make rice. Like I totally lied. And I was like, isn't it great? And I put a lot of butter in it and they're like, yeah, this is really good. Because I wasn't about to throw it away and start over. Right? I mean,
Why would you do that?
huh?
Why would you start over?
Exactly. So I gave them like broken rice. And actually, I think that's like an Asian, a staple, broken rice. It's big in New York now. So I've mixed everything together. I'm going to put a little salt in.
Yeah, she said that.
Oh, what are you drinking, Chuck?
Bourbon.
Like this bourbon?
What kind of bourbon? What kind of bourbon do you like?
I'm somewhat of a bourbon aficionado, so I kind of go all over the place. I actually like Dan Garrison's bourbon, which
Hey, Dan Garrison, who was our class, like a year behind us?
yeah, he's a major player in the bourbon world.
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
Hold on
I
a
knew
second.
that. That's great.
Chelsea, how did you know that?
I think Facebook.
I'm not on
You
Facebook.
Well, you got to get with it.
I
You gotta get
can't
on
do it.
Facebook.
I'm not doing it either.
Thank you, Suki.
Can you
No.
see that?
Oh, and a beautiful bottle.
Wow. Okay,
That's
so
Garrett.
is he out of Tennessee?
Texas.
Texas. Hence the big
Texas.
star.
Okay,
Texas.
interesting.
Kentucky.
So his bourbons are very they're not your daily drinking bourbons. They're not particularly cheap, which is no problem, but they're so my normal bourbon is Buffalo Trace.
Never even heard of it.
And tonight I'm actually drinking a bourbon called Larceny, which I like. So
That his?
what's
Is
that?
that his?
No, the only thing that he has is Garrison Brothers, which he has a whole line of product in the Garrison Brothers line, and they're really, really good. So
Hey, so Dilsey, get this. So next summer, there's going to be an in-person reunion, provided there's not a COVID phase 2, I guess. And it's going to be 1980, 81, and 82 all on campus.
Oh, that sounds great.
That sounds fun.
I will be there. I was just saying to Chessa, I have such fond memories of eating hard shell crabs and drinking beer and,
On the front porch, on the
Yeah.
front lawn.
here are the Rice Krispie treats. So
Okay.
these will set up. I'm going to drizzle chocolate later on and that'll be our healthy dessert.
So Amy, you said the recipes are somewhere?
They're
What?
in the chat.
Yeah.
They're in the chat. There's
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
In the
there
chat,
and
there's a link.
and guess what? I can send them to you too.
Hey,
Okay.
Dilsey, what are you drinking? Are you drinking rosé?
Yeah, I am. And apparently it's Rosé Day on Instagram. Yeah,
Girl, you're so with it.
I'm drinking that. Domaine du Bagnol.
that's one of the classic French rosé. That's great.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it really is. It's a good one.
It's very nice. And I'll tell you, we had, because our 3 kids were home, they moved home during COVID and they're all over 21. We had to start drinking natural wine because it's a lot cheaper. We couldn't, it was like we were getting a case of wine delivered a week. Because they drank us out of like
That is
everything.
hilarious.
They just, yeah. So,
My brother said that with his 3 kids.
yeah, it was a quite a year. And so we really like leaned into natural wine, which we like, but we're kind of, now they're all gone and we're kind of
We're back to
getting
the good stuff.
yeah, then we're getting back to like, I don't, like cooking 3 meals a day was just,
It was grueling when you're
it was
working full
grueling.
time.
Yeah. 3 meals a day for 5 adults.
Yeah.
It's not like they're kids anymore, you know, they just, ugh.
I ordered myself all new like cookware because we were just eating off the stuff we got when we were married like 25 years ago. And I said, I'm going to order new stuff from Williams Sonoma. And then I got really into cooking, but it was exhausting. It was exhausting because you're right that they eat so much. My boys eat so much.
I mean, eat eggs. I would go through a dozen eggs every day. I mean, I couldn't, and there was like a limit at the store. You could only buy 2 dozen at a time. I was an egg hoarder, you know, like I bought them.
Chuck, how old are your kids? Because you've got twins.
Well, I've got 3 kids. Nobody's a twin, but
I thought you had twins like Amy. Okay.
yeah, no, my oldest is 28 and in his 3rd year of medical school at Emory, which I'm very proud of.
Is he really? Wow.
Yeah, and then my middle son lives in Denver and he's 24. Yeah. And then my daughter's a rising senior at University of Georgia. So.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep. We're all floating around doing our thing. This is life. Yeah.
All right, so I feel like your wife was a pastry chef. Is that right?
Yeah, she was. Amy, I don't know if you ever knew a guy who was actually in New York for a minute. His name was Gunter Seeger. But she was his pastry chef when I first met her. And now she's a nurse now, which is great.
What? Okay, when you said she was working at Northside, I thought, is she the head dietitian or something?
Yeah, no, she's an OR nurse and loves what she does now. But she was a pastry chef when I first met her and stayed that way for many years. And then we had kids, and then she decided to do a second career, and that was what she chose.
That's amazing. So does she still bake for fun?
You know, she has thrown all the cooking on me. So I get to cook everything now. She works a lot more than I do probably at the moment, and so I feel somewhat obligated to provide the meals. So I think at holidays she does definitely throw down a little bit for the pastries, but not normally.
Well, sounds like you've got it all figured out, which is great.
Amy, that's so funny. Yeah, I wish that was true. It's not. We're taking one step at a time.
Yeah.
Tessa, let's hear about you and your family.
Yeah.
I've seen you for ages since you were out here.
I just finished my 31st year at St. Andrews. And I love it. I hope I get to do like another 5 more years. And I hope I get to work with you guys, because my last boss put me with all the old guys. And I was like, no, I want the fun people. So the old guys are fun too. So I've been pretty much sequestered here in Chestertown during the pandemic. I think I've been to St. Andrews 10 times. And each time I kept thinking, oh, I'll be going back. Finally, I was like, I'm not going back. So I had to bring all my photographs, my St. Andrews photographs that I have in file drawers that I like snuck out of the archives so that I can put things on Facebook. No, I can't. So I'll put some pictures up on.
And how's your family and horses and everything?
And your son?
So I'm down to 2 horses from all my, haven't been racing and breeding, 2 old girls, and the cat, the obnoxious cat here, and the dog. And my son 26 and has been furloughed from his job as photo editor. So he's been here, sometimes happily, sometimes not. He's picked up exploring some other things and skills and whatnot. So he's helpful. He washes his sheets and does his laundry and folds it and all that. So that's a good thing.
Awesome.
That's more
My
than what
husband is
happens in my
Still
house.
building.
Right.
Thanks for all you do for
But the
seniors.
washing,
It's awesome.
but the laundry, he's gonna be house sitting for Claire Nevin, my classmate, who is the rector at St. Philip's in Philadelphia. She's the first female rector, or
Really?
whatever. Yeah,
Huh.
But aren't they
she has
selling?
a house in Chester. They what?
Aren't they selling their house in Philly, or is he?
Yeah,
house in-
they're selling. Right, they're selling it, so they're gonna live in the river house. But her husband, I don't know what he does, but his family has this beautiful villa in Italy, because I've seen it on Facebook. So, and they're going for 2 months, so my son is gonna be house and dog and cat and chicken sitting. So
Funny
see,
story.
That's what you need.
Her husband was my roommate in college for 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Small world. I
Yeah.
introduced them. I did that.
Hey,
love
Chuck,
that.
where did you go to college?
Well, this was when I first started. I was at University of Delaware, and
Okay.
that's where I met Andy and Claire. I think she was there also. So that's how they got connected, because we used to have wine and cheese parties in our dorm room. And so we would invite various people, and anyway, got them connected. That was before I
Yeah, so
moved.
see, it's all this small.
Is that him right there?
That's cool. So that's me. So anyway, guys, I've got to jump off because I got to do a few things. I'm going to drum up some business for this alumni jam. I think I'm frozen.
No, you're not.
Jessa, thanks for all you do. We really appreciate it very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for showing up. Amy, thank you so much for doing this. It was fun. And it's so I don't speak French, au courant, right? Or whatever, right?
I wish we could be together.
It's so
I do. I wish we could all be together. That would have been really fun, but thank you for arranging this. It was my pleasure. And Chuck, how do we exchange information?
I'm going to send you Chuck's cell number because Chuck and I are now buddies. I'm going to send it right now, Dilsey.
Okay, sounds good.
Dills, this was great. Good to see you. Say hi to Jim,
I will. He's
the dishwasher.
he's lurking. He's lurking in the background.
I love
Hi,
all these
Jim.
connections with you guys.
I don't see
Take
him.
care.
Really appreciate it. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Mwah.
We'll see you June 10th, 2022.
Okay.